My name is Alexander Huard, and I'm 12 years old.
Okay.
My name is Leah Huard, and I'm 8 years old.
Okay. And where do you go to school?
We both go to Filto, it's École d'Éducation Internationale. I'm in 6th grade, so I'm going to go to Compagnon Pratique next year.
Okay.
And
I'm in 3rd grade, and I go to the same school.
Okay. So your mom probably mentioned a little bit that this is for the newspaper.
Yeah.
yes.
Just off the top of your head, what do you think about the newspaper?
Well, I always go around the house finding them a coffee table and all that kind of stuff. I just pick them up and just look at it and just turn it around and look at the stuff. And when I see myself, I'm like, yeah, that's me. And interesting articles and a bunch of stuff in it. It's pretty interesting.
What about you, Leah? Do you read the paper ever?
I don't really read, but when I see something that interests me, I look at the title and I look at the images.
Okay. Okay. So what sort of article would be interesting to you?
Well, it depends really what I see. Sometimes it's just like, sometimes I read it's 104 years old. At some point
Oh
I
yeah, on
read
the top
that.
there.
Yeah, and then I was interested and I started looking at it.
Okay. Okay. And what about you, Alexander?
The articles that interest me, I remember I saw this article about waking up people in the morning on Saturday or something. Like the big parade of people making noise or something. It was really funny.
I wonder, we might have to dig that one out of the archives. I don't remember exactly. Do you remember where it was or what the...
It was like on the front page.
Okay.
I don't remember what newspaper.
Okay.
Can't give an exact date, I don't remember much.
Okay.
But I like those kind of articles. I would like to hear the history of the newspaper also.
Okay.
Because it always says 250 years, but it would interest me to know where was it created, the creator, and
Okay. Who started the whole thing?
yeah, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you say if I told you that the historian who researched the newspaper for our anniversary found out that before the English moved into Quebec City, there wasn't a newspaper at all? That the QCT was the first newspaper in Quebec City.
She would, yeah, it's,
Well, my mom said it in the cars.
Oh, she told you already.
Did not? I didn't say that.
Did too.
Well, you were asking interesting questions about printing.
He was.
no, it was me like how they printed, because in the time they didn't have like those printers you just put them in. Like they had to like either write it or they'd have little things they would put down and print it down.
Yep. Yep.
He would probably be happy to have like to know that he's got the first newspaper in North America, the oldest newspaper.
Yeah, can you imagine being that guy? And
Yeah.
somebody telling you, hey buddy, your newspaper is still out there, people still read it?
He's probably dead. Well, he is dead by now. It was in 1700s, something like
Yeah.
that. So
1764.
he's gone since a long time.
Yeah.
But if he'd still be here today, he'd probably be pretty amazed.
Yeah.
It's still going. People are still reading it. Still new articles, all kind of stuff. He'd probably be very.
And here's a question for you. So that guy, his original newspaper was probably on paper kind of like this. It was really small though. I think it was only maybe 1 or 2 pages.
Because it takes forever to print.
Yeah.
I already thought.
Took a long time because they would have kind of bars and they would put each little letter in it.
What if they
It's
made
called
spelling
typeset.
mistakes?
Oh, they did. They did.
Spelling?
If you read the historic, this column here, you see little snippets. It's that memorials and things of fame one. You see little snippets of old clippings from some of the older papers from the archives, and you see they wrote words really funny. They wrote F's for S's a lot of times, and just very strange spelling sometimes.
I didn't see any mistakes so far, but that's probably because I'm pretty bad at English also, so it's probably why.
Okay, so I have another question for you. So we're still printing a regular paper exactly sort of the way they did
And how they
100 years ago.
Hmm?
How do you get your news today? Do you still read something on paper?
Ooh, yeah. I don't read newspaper that much, but when I do get a hold of one, I read it. Like, I don't go on internet much because I use internet for more social medias, games, and research and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But I probably should go and read the newspapers on the internet.
Okay.
Should go.
If you're on the internet looking for information, how do you find it?
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It's like the first one that pops up all the time, but I always double check on 2 websites because I know that even though it's a pretty reliable website, there's always maybe a tiny bit of mistakes. So when I go onto the site that have a bunch of ads popping up everywhere and you can see it's pretty, doesn't seem very professional, I always go on 2 sites because you never know.
It's true. I have a question for you. What do your friends think about it when you're in the newspaper? Do they even know?
No, because pretty much everybody are on these online gaming, going ta 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 ta, these games and stuff. I play them too, but
Plus it's English.
plus it's English, so I'm not like, hey, I read newspapers, but they don't know that I read stuff. We don't really talk about it at school, but
Okay.
they're all talking about like the French ones, like Le Soleil and all that kind of stuff. They don't.
And are they ever in the newspaper?
Very rarely, because those are very big around like whole Quebec, so it's very big. And
I never saw my friends in the newspaper.
but I'm in the Chronicle-Telegraph. I couldn't say often, but I've been there a couple times, 3, 4, 5 times.
Enough that you know that you're part of the community because you're
Yeah.
in the paper.
Yeah, I'm Anglophone.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
Where was like the place where they would build it, like the place where they would print it and all that kind of stuff?
Well, the paper has moved around a lot in the last 250 years. It started in a little shop that is not there anymore, but would have been near the Starbucks at the Chateau Frontenac,
Mm.
like right in that part of the building there. There was a little building, and then a couple of the other offices there. You know where the artists are, right? There's that little side street, the Rue de Trésor, where the artists sell their paintings in the summertime. Right
Oh
near the
yeah,
chateau.
and there are a bunch of like little artists
Okay,
there.
there's a building right on that street where the paper was printed for a really, really long time. And they had the printing presses, huge machines. Can you imagine reading a printed newspaper like this, or do you think you'll get your news some other way?
Well, today, just in class, we were talking about what the future would be like in 2050.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about like all these little imagined thing like this cards that have in their arms, and they're like you'd think with your brain, all that stuff. And I was like, it doesn't work for 2050. I mean, we're not there yet, but you never know. So in 3, 4 years from now, I think it'd probably be the same. Because 2 years ago, they still have the paper like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think 2, 3, 4 years from now, I think they'd still have paper. I think I'd still read it from the paper if my mom still receives it, which she probably will.
And what do you think, Leah? Would you rather read it on paper or maybe on the computer or hear it on TV? Or how would you like to hear about what's going on around Quebec and the world?
Well, maybe maybe like it better on the newspaper, because I'll maybe be more interested in reading and
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah, you learn how to read also. Because obviously we don't have that many English classes at our school because it's first language French.
If we don't learn English, how to read.
We don't learn how to read. It's just like A, B, C, all that kind of stuff. So it's not advanced enough for us. So
Brown bear, brown.
yeah.
Stars like that.
So I learned to read by my own. She didn't. She's starting, huh?
Starting.
So maybe in 2, 3, 4 years from now, she'd be able to read frequently the newspaper. And
Okay. So you actually find that it's good practice because you don't have a lot in English at school.
well, reading for me is fluid. I mean, I read part of the Harry Potters. I read Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I read books like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can read newspapers pretty fluidly, and
then Leah, you said you think it would be more interesting if it was in print than if it was on TV or on the internet. How come?
Because it's a, I don't know.
I know, right? I think I know why.
It
Cause
just seems
when I get a haircut or something, or I'm that kind of stuff, my mom always reads the newspaper, waiting and stuff.
Yeah.
So let's say I had to wait on somebody or my mom getting a haircut and I had to go for some reason, I don't know. I'd probably read the paper. And I mean, when you have it on some sort of tablet, you could read it on the tablet, but you'd need the 3G or the 4G, like the wireless internet or the Wi-Fi. But it's not every place that has Wi-Fi and stuff, so it'd be more practical on paper.
Okay.
And you'd always need to scroll it down and look at the end of it.
But you have to turn the papers, and when it's mixed up, then you turn.
2 pages to read, and that's maybe.
Yeah, my mom already said I had this expo at school about like every year at my school there was some sort of exposition, and my mom came and she said I was a pretty good talker and stuff, and she said that maybe I could do some sort of TV reporter or that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But writing, sometimes inspiration for me, it gets kind of tough. But I mean, talking, it's pretty good, like on TV or something.
Okay.
That'd be kind of cool.
What do you think